the maggots are a way of life. They're the kids that don't get looked after. They're the kids that society turns the other cheek and wants to ignore. And a band like us, represents that. We're a lot that same philosophy. And you have to protect everybody in this world, and you start with those kids, because those are usually the toughest kids. Those are the kids, if you have enough belief, they'll be the ones putting the shuttles to the next world. They'll be the ones coming up with the cure to the diseases we can't figure out. These are not the kids you throw into a corner and ignore. And as far as rock and pop, many years ago, we played a sort of a pop TV show in Belgium, and I'll never forget. There were all pop bands, and then there was Slipknot, and they all lip-synced, and we played our instruments. So I don't know, it's somewhere within the lines of that kind of thinking.
I'm still, into the old school stuff. Metallica, Slayer, but we'll listen to Steely Dan. We'll listen to, anything that was a hit back then when you were a kid. My childhood music is real heavy for me. It's, I hear a song and all of a sudden I'm in the back of the station wagon with Mom going to the swimming pool. I can just take myself back there. So nothing new has really, done anything for me. So I still pretty much stick with the old material.
If you think back on the Woodstock period, there was only probably less than 50 bands in the world even touring at that time. And you can count them all if you really think about it. And now, I mean, how many bands tour? And everybody wants to know why venues don't sell out or why people don't go to clubs, because most bands just suck. Period. Sorry, but try a little bit harder. Have a little more self-pride in what you want to give the world. They've always said that when we no longer can communicate because of war or something unfortunate like this, it's going to take poets, artists, and musicians to be able to explain anything that went on. And that's the real deal. It's got to come from the soul. It can't be just because you want sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I don't think any of us got into it for that. I pretty much accomplished everything I ever wanted to accomplish, except for a few things like, performing on Saturday Night Live, or, going out and do a stadium tour or something. But these are all things that you can gear up and work very hard to eventually get. But we're never satisfied with, we have an old saying that we're about 10 years behind on what we actually want to give the world. It's usually we have to move at your speed. Our speed is very fast. It's very frantic, and we have 10 million ideas. It's just a matter of trying to fit them all in within the time that we're given to give a new painting out. So once again, we've pretty much accomplished everything we set out as little rock and rollers that we ever wanted to do, but we haven't necessarily got out all of our ideas. But that always gives us something to look forward to, and there's always a next step to take on the ladder of evolution in rock and roll for ourselves.
One of the last hurdles that we had to get over, one of the last things that this band, really wanted, and, we've been close a couple other times, and, we finally got it, and that's a huge honor, that's the people speaking about what's going on, in the United States, so.
I'd also like to say that, he's absolutely correct, 100%, but at the same time, when we said goodbye to our families in '99 and set out over this great big planet of ours to disease everybody with, the virus of the knot, we were #1 then. We've been #1 every day since then, and we'll be #1 every day until we're done, because that's just the way it is. Watch, listen, and learn, period.